Tonight, the discovery of human remains leaves the Regina neighborhood feeling uneasy. SGI has been inundated by thousands of hail insurance claims in Regina and celebrating National Indigenous Peoples Day in Victoria Park.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It's been more than a week since Regina Police Services found human remains outside a home on a 1300 block of Retallack Street. And while police continue to try and identify the victim, the finding has left some residents in the area feeling rather uneasy. Jacob Carr has more.
On June 9th, a tenant in a home on the 1300 block of Retallack Street found what was later confirmed to be human remains in the backyard of the property. And with all the police attention that this discovery garnered, it wasn't long until many of the neighbors were alerted to the gruesome findings.
They had the crime unit bus out, and I'm like, okay, this is obviously something a bit more substantial, and didn't really know what was going on because I've never even seen that bus before. And then later that night or the next day, that's when the neighbors said they confirmed they found human remains.
Button, who says she has been in the neighborhood for around 6 months, says while she was saddened to hear the news of the findings, she was not surprised by it.
That makes me question how many other houses around the city, or this area in particular, could there be remains sitting there, right? Yeah. Which is crazy, but yeah. And then to find out it's been there for about 5 years. So hopefully you can figure out who the victim was.
The latest RPS release on Wednesday stated that after an autopsy, the victim is believed to have been a male between the ages of 30 and 40, and that the remains have been buried in the location since at least 2021. CTV News also spoke with the landlord of the property, Carl Humphreys. He has owned the property for nearly 20 years and says around 7 to 8 tenants have come through the space in that time. Humphreys says he is now on the hook for the cleanup of debris on the property after the police ordered a shed demolished near where the remains were found.
I said, well, you can demolish it as long as you're prepared to clean up any mess that you make. And they indicated that, they would do what was necessary. That's how they worded it.
Humphreys told CTV News that he didn't get a definitive answer from the city of Regina as to how long he has to clean up the debris from the shed, but that the city bylaw said 2 to 3 weeks. RPS was unavailable for comment on the demolition cleanup and is currently appealing to the public to help identify the victim. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Insurance claims stemming from a major hailstorm in Regina on June 9th are expected to exceed $80 million, according to SGI. The insurance company estimating that more than 10,000 people have reported damages to their home and vehicles, with adjusters now working overtime to assess the damage. Wayne Mantica has the latest.
Darlene Stinson is one of thousands of Regina residents with vehicle hail damage from a June 9th storm. It took only 10 days to see an appraiser.
The hood is all banged up. The roof is all banged up. The driver's side here, the whole entire framework and stuff is hit.
SGI has brought in staff from across the province for a series of weekend appraisal blitzes. The latest 3-day event is by appointment at the SGI Commercial Claims Center in Regina.
I think initial customer feedback has been really positive so far. People are very appreciative of the response and how fast that we're trying to get to them.
So far, SGI has received 10,000 vehicle hail damage claims and another 800 property damage claims. It estimates the total value at $80 million.
And the amount of claims coming in continues to grow. We are well prepared to handle that. We've mobilized our staff to intake those claims, so we are helping customers who either phone in, come into a branch, or put a claim in online.
Darlene Stinson has dozens of hail dents in her vehicle. Her damage estimate came in at $11,000. She hopes it won't be a write-off.
It means that I probably would have to go into payments again, and I wouldn't want that.
$80 million in claims is a huge hit to the auto fund, which operates on a break-even basis over time. It's why SGI maintains a substantial reserve fund, currently estimated at about $750 million, more than enough to weather major storms. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Confirmation that Saskatchewan had its 7th tornado of the year yesterday. Researchers with the Northern Tornadoes Project say they've confirmed a landspout tornado formed north west of Viceroy Thursday afternoon. The tornado has been given a default rating of EF0 with no damage reported. A satellite imagery review is also pending. Viceroy is southeast of Assiniboia. Tornadoes, we don't have to worry about that today. We didn't see any of that today, although there was some precipitation in some areas of the province.
Yeah, some areas like the Parkland did see some rain earlier today, started their day with some rain, but for the most part we've seen mainly sunny conditions and temperatures getting back into that seasonal range of the 20-degree, low 20s for daytime highs. Now things are going to change as we near the end of the weekend, but to start your weekend, very similar to what we experienced today, and that is for Saturday. So today we did warm up to about 20 degrees. The average is about 23, 24 degrees. And as we head into tomorrow, like I said, conditions will clear. However, there is rain arriving from the west. Our friends in Alberta currently seeing some rainfall warnings already. Hopefully we don't see them, but there's a good chance we may see some in southern Saskatchewan. In terms of temperatures right now, we're still sitting at that seasonal range, but coming up in your full forecast, I'll give you all the details, including how much rain we can expect this weekend. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. Regina Fire Protection Services has determined a fire at the Ukrainian Hall on St. John Street on June the 13th was intentionally set, and the Regina Police Service are now conducting an arson investigation. Now, RPS have released 3 photos of people that were seen near the Ukrainian Hall the day of the blaze. Police are not calling them suspects, but they would like to speak to them for their investigation. If you know the person in any of these 3 photos, you are asked to contact Regina Police or Crime Stoppers. You can see the photos again on our website, ctvnews.ca/Regina. A 9-year-old was sent to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after a dog attack in Regina on Wednesday night. Around 8 o'clock in the evening, officers were patrolling 6th Avenue and Garnet Street when they were stopped by 2 children. One of them had a wound on their face after being attacked by a dog. EMS took the victim to hospital, where police and animal protection officers located the dog at a residence in the area. The dog is currently in the custody of Animal Protection Services. An inmate who was at a psychiatric correctional facility in North Battleford has been released from custody by mistake. 26-year-old Kalisha Jackson is facing charges related to assault and confinement and was being held by the Saskatchewan Hospital North Battleford Integrated Correctional Facility. Now, the province says she was released March 19th because of an administrative error. It adds Kalisha Jackson isn't believed to be a risk to public safety, but if anyone sees her, they're asked to call police. Brandt Industries were back in court appealing the decision of a workplace injury matter which concluded back in October of last year. The legal counsel of Brandt has concerns in the trial judge's findings and are looking for an acquittal. The Crown has also filed their own appeal. Brandt was found guilty for 1 violation of the occupational health and safety regulations after an employee was badly injured in a forklift incident. The worker said he was trained and certified to use the equipment, but his documentation was never received by Brandt. Brandt was fined $55,000 for the incident. The appeal hearing will continue September the 10th. Well, the story of a young boy is helping raise money for the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. It was a couple years ago we introduced you to baby Mark, who was in the neonatal intensive care unit at the hospital. Baby Mark was born more than 10 weeks premature at just under 1 kilogram. Inspired by his 305-day stay at the hospital, the family organized an annual Making Our Mark golf tournament, which was recently held at St. Walburg Golf Course, raising more than $40,000 for the neonatal intensive care unit.
Making Our Mark was inspired by the phenomenal care we received during Mark's long stay here at JPCH, but also the way that they innovated and just took care of the whole family while we were here.
The family says the hospital made a lasting impact on them and are happy to support the work they do for Saskatchewan's children and families. Well, this Sunday is National Indigenous Peoples Day, but the city of Regina just couldn't wait to get the party started. People flocking to Victoria Park today in downtown Regina, where First Nation, Inuit, and Métis culture was on full display. The celebration was, well, performances, kids' activities, an Indigenous artisan market, and interactive experiences like a teepee building demonstration and beading.
Well, when you think of Indigenous, you think of all the different cultures involved. So there's First Nations, Métis, and Inuit, but each culture, of course, has branches of that. So you're getting just a glimmer of each of those little pieces here today. So you can learn different artwork, different dances, hear the songs. So a whole bunch of different options.
The celebration comes as Saskatchewan prepares to recognize the 30th anniversary of National Indigenous Peoples Day on June 21st. Whether it's elementary school, high school, even post-secondary graduation is an age-old tradition. But today's graduation at Cornwall Alternative School was extra special. It was the very first graduating class. Mick Fable was there and brings us the historic moment.
A graduation half a century in the making. 2 students from Cornwall Alternative are the first grade 12 graduates in its 53-year history. An accomplishment Angelina Pegan is happy to be a part of.
I'm so proud of everyone else here, and we've come a long way, and I'm just so happy that I get to graduate here and share this experience and just live in this moment.
For decades, Cornwall Alternative have been offering elementary and high school classes for students looking to get back on track. The institution has produced countless students who wish the school had a graduation program, something that is now a reality.
It's got me through so many milestones, a lot of tough bridges, and they're just a really respectful school, really caring, really loving. It's been nice to finish my year off here.
One of the major goals of the tight-knit school is to work with students who face a variety of challenges impacting attendance, behavior, and academic success. Mills Daniels says during her first year at Cornwall Alternative, her mother died, and the school was there for support in that critical moment.
They acted like parents more than I thought they would. I thought they would be regular teachers, but they're not. They have such a deep heart and more meaning to kids than I thought they ever would.
The build-up to this graduating class has been going on since the first day of school. The possibility of graduating from Cornwall Alternative has altered the thinking of the student body, from if we graduate to when we graduate. And a new reality from one of Regina's most unique schools. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
University of Regina honored a Saskatchewan trailblazer today as part of its spring convocation ceremonies. Dr. Bob Stedward, a pioneer of the global Paralympic movement, received an honorary doctorate of law. The Saskatchewan-born leader helped found the International Paralympic Committee and brought worldwide attention to athletes with disabilities. His decades of work have expanded accessibility and inclusion in sport on an international scale.
I'm just so thrilled to be here. It's a privilege, it's an honor, and I'm just with the greatest amount of humility thank the University of Regina for this recognition.
His legacy will continue to influence a more inclusive future for athletes around the world. Well, the first time ever in the city of Regina, an outdoor call to Islamic prayer was heard downtown. Regina City Jamia Masjid delivered its first live outdoor adhan, also known as an Islamic call to prayer, which happens at 1 p.m. this afternoon, just before the weekly congregational prayer.
And we believe that this would help us in Regina to be familiar and introduce the Regina City Jamia Masjid within the Muslim and the non-Muslim community, because we are here at the heart of the Regina downtown.
The adhan is a centuries-old Islamic tradition in which a designated caller invites worshippers to gather for prayer. Recited in Arabic, the call proclaims the greatness of God and reminds Muslims that it is time for worship. And a familiar family has received the Fraser Institute's highest honor, an award given to entrepreneurs and business leaders. The Fraser Institute's Founders Award was handed out to the Semple family at a gala in Regina last night. They're the owners of Brandt Industries, also owners of Regina Pats and Regina Red Sox. The Institute says the organization wanted to recognize their extraordinary business contribution to both Saskatchewan and Canada. It's the first time the award has been given out here in Saskatchewan.
The Semple family is probably one of Canada's greatest entrepreneurial success stories. To build what they have built, which is a global powerhouse company right here from Regina with 6,000 employees, 170 locations around the world, is absolutely phenomenal.
Proud to receive it, knowing that it's the first one, and especially in light of the previous recipients that have received it across the country. So it's certainly a big honor for us.
In the country, but
Former Premier Brad Wall did receive this recognition in Calgary in 2016. He was on hand for a speech at last night's ceremonies. The Fraser Institute is a public policy think tank that's based in BC.
Still ahead, the feds add more funding for the National Childcare Program. And billionaire Frank Stronach is found guilty on 2 of 12 counts at his sexual assault trial.
Provinces and territories will be getting an additional $5.4 billion from the federal government. Ottawa says the funding over 2 years is intended to stabilize the National Childcare Program. A number of provinces have managed to lower the fees parents paid to an average of $10 a day, but 5 have not, including Ontario, where fees are at an average of $19 a day. The Ford government has said $2 billion more per year is needed to get it to $10. Several provinces are also struggling to meet space creation goals and recruit and retain enough early childhood educators. Now, while most people are talking about the separation issue when it comes to Alberta's referendum this fall, outside the province, more than half of the questions focus on a different topic, immigration. As Kathy Lee reports, questions about limiting newcomers and restricting services are unsettling to some that are looking to call Alberta home.
This is going good, thank you.
Eager and determined, Ishrek Mola is looking for his next opportunity at this newcomer fair in Calgary.
Looking for something in accounting or finance.
After coming to Canada 4 years ago to study business administration, Mola is now on a work permit, but recently lost his job.
You do feel bad for being let go, but you just have to get back up again. The job market is tough.
Adjusting in a new country was also tough, but support services helped him find his footing. Now, some of those supports are at the center of 5 immigration questions on Alberta's fall referendum ballot that could change which newcomers are eligible for some provincially funded services, including healthcare and education.
If the government does not support us, then who will? We do not have anyone else.
Smith has blamed former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's immigration policies for Alberta's population surge. But in early 2024, she was encouraging more people to move here.
Let's have an aggressive target to double our population.
Rapid population growth felt across the country has prompted Ottawa to curb immigration, citing strains on housing and public services. In Alberta, those same pressures are also being felt by settlement organizations. But the CEO of the Immigrant Education Society says the challenges facing the province are complex.
Any issue in the society is very complicated. It's unfair to only blame newcomers.
For Mola, he says he has felt very welcomed in Canada.
I've integrated myself into the society.
And wants other newcomers to have the same experience. For now, his focus is building the life he came here for.
I've seen a lot of people succeed.
And he hopes one day he'll be one of them. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Canadian billionaire Frank Stronach has been found guilty of sexual assault. The auto parts businessman who holds the Order of Canada was convicted of assaulting 2 women decades ago. And while he was cleared on the charges of rape, the 93-year-old was found guilty on 2 other counts. John Woodward has more.
Canadian billionaire Frank Stronach left Toronto Superior Court Friday as a convicted criminal. The 93-year-old founder of an auto parts empire that turned him into one of Canada's richest men was found guilty of sexual assault for groping a waitress at a restaurant he used to own in the early 80s, and 1 count of indecent assault for pushing his groin into another woman in his apartment in 1977.
Well, I know that these historic sexual assault charges are incredibly difficult to prosecute. So it's a great relief that 2 of the charges survived the attacks on the integrity and the memories of the 7 complainants.
Stronach had faced 12 counts, some where he was accused of using his money, power, and leadership position at Magna International to find women for sex, including this woman, one of the horse trainers on his expansive property north of Toronto.
He wasn't my employer anymore. He was my abductor. He was my rapist.
But as the trial went on, the charges were whittled down. The justice didn't find the woman who made the rape allegation credible, saying there were too many uncertainties about the incident alleged by the woman for me to be satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt as to Mr. Stronach's guilt of the violent rape she described.
Take the time to read her Honor's decision very carefully.
His lawyer urging reporters to consider the difference between what was alleged and what Stronach was convicted of.
And we'll take the time, digest the decision, decision and asked for what we think is the most appropriate sentence in the circumstance of offences that happened in 1977 and an offence that happened in 1983.
The conviction amounts to a remarkable fall from grace for one of Canada's richest men and will trigger a review of his Order of Canada. And Stronach isn't done at court. He will also face a sentencing hearing, at least one civil suit, and another set of similar charges to be heard at a separate trial. John Woodward, CTV News, Toronto.
Israel and Hezbollah have agreed to renew their ceasefire, but not before there was an escalation in fighting. Lebanon says 47 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes and 4 Israeli soldiers died in attacks by Hezbollah. The deadly exchanges have created uncertainty about the timing of negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Talks between the two sides scheduled for today in Switzerland were postponed as the fighting flared. Tehran has insisted on an end to the hostilities in Lebanon as one of the conditions for a broader U.S.-Iran peace deal.
Coming up, celebrating National Indigenous Peoples Day in Saskatoon with a walk centered around reconciliation.
Monday on Your Morning Saskatchewan, we're calling all photographers. Details on the Explore Sask photo contest and how you can participate. It all starts at 6.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your forecast heading into this weekend, the official start of summer, Sunday. We'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of today, it was a pretty seasonal day. Warmed up to about 20 degrees late this afternoon. We're currently sitting at 19 in Regina with the winds just over 15 kilometers an hour. And as we continue into this evening, we're going to continue to see clear conditions. We did see a little bit of scattered precipitation in parts of the province today. Starting first thing in the morning, we did have some rain over in the Parkland. And then we have seen some scattered. Now this system, we're continuing to see the rainfall warnings in Alberta slowly edge towards Saskatchewan. Now we do have rain on the way. It is not expected until later Saturday night into Sunday. And you know what? I'm just going to show you what we've got coming up right now. So for this evening, most of this rain should start to clear out. We'll be left with clear conditions to head into your overnight. And then continuing into Saturday, we've got clear conditions to start your day. And for most of the day, actually, we'll have clouds starting to roll in. You can see that larger system hovering around the Edmonton area first thing Saturday morning. Eventually, we start to see that rain making its way into Saskatchewan. So Saturday night into Sunday morning, starting your day, a big system hovering around the Swift Current, Assiniboia, Moose Jaw area. Lloydminster expecting to see some heavier rainfall as well. Saskatoon could see some of that rain later in the day as well. So if you are making any Father's Day plans Sunday morning, perhaps golfing, either switch it to Saturday or maybe wait a couple days because this rain is expected to stick around for most of the day Sunday. And you can see the heaviest rainfall expected for the Regina, Moose Jaw area is later in the day. The darker that green, heavier rainfall. The yellow starts incorporating some higher wind gusts, possibly some hail in the mix. But as of right now, it's looking like mostly it's just going to be some heavy rainfall expected. And you can see it's not clearing out of the Regina area until the evening of Sunday. Now, as that system starts to clear out, there is another system that's developing in the south, just south of the border, where we could see some more rain arrive Monday. Depending on where you are in southern Saskatchewan, another 5 to 15 millimeters could arrive on Monday. So this is what we're looking at between now and to Sunday morning. You start to see the heavier rainfall arrive in the southwest there, even all the way up into the Lloydminster area. As Sunday continues on, we'll start to see Assiniboia could see close to 30 millimeters of rain, over 25 for Moose Jaw, close to 15 millimeters for Regina, over 20 for Saskatoon, 25 for North Bell. We've got a lot of rain coming into Sunday and continuing throughout Monday. Temperatures, though, continuing to be in the seasonal range for tomorrow. So that's the good news. We'll see temperatures staying in the 20s for La Ronge, Prince Albert, 22, a little rain, and 18 for Lloydminster, 19 and cloudy for La Loche. Saskatoon, 20 and mainly sunny, 21 for Yorkton, 22 and cloudy for North Battleford. The southwest, we're back into the mid-20s, so back into seasonal range. Similar story for southeast there, 23 for Weyburn, Estevan, and Assiniboia. And for Regina tonight, 8 is our expected low, warming up to 22 degrees. Mainly sunny with the winds up to about 35 kilometers an hour. And this is what we're looking at for the next 7 days. So again, summer solstice arrives in Saskatchewan at 2:24 a.m. on Sunday. It does not feel like a really good first official day of summer when we see the temperature expected to be 16 and nothing but rain. Winds also picking up, gusting up to about 55 kilometers an hour. More rain expected on Monday. 17 is the expected high. By Tuesday, 18. And then we start to see that gradual warm up back into our seasonal range near the end of next week. So 22 on Wednesday. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, 24. And by Friday, a little bit more cloud cover, but 23 is the expected daytime high. So a great start to the weekend. May not feel like the official start of summer, though, as we head into Sunday there with the rain and cooler temperatures.
Well, there's rain in summer. Yeah.
That's true.
We'll just have to deal with it for now. Oh, well. Thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, National Indigenous Peoples Day is on Sunday, which is also the summer solstice, as Sabine mentioned. A significant day for Indigenous people, the longest day of the year, serving as a time of renewal, connection, and celebration. Now, like Regina, Saskatoon held an early celebration today, a walk demonstrating the commitment to reconciliation. Keenan Sorokon has more.
6 years ago, David Finday invited people to smudge with him at Rock Your Roots to bring people closer together. That sense of community was on full display Friday, as Finday beamed with pride watching thousands walk alongside one another for the 10th annual Rock Your Roots Walk for Reconciliation.
It's awesome. It's to celebrate being First Nations, to open it up and to let people see the real truth about First Nations people.
For people who have been going on the walk for years, hitting the 10-year milestone shows the event has its place on the calendar and now has a lasting impact on a generation educated about residential schools and truth and reconciliation calls to action.
Children really do lead us if we are supporting those kinds of efforts, and I know that those children are learning things that many of their parents didn't, and how does that help to shape the future for all of us?
Block says passing this along to the kids is what the day is all about, and if reconciliation is to remain this shared commitment by the greater community, furthering that work is as easy as getting acquainted.
Talk at the soccer pitch, at the hockey rink, and just get to know each other.
And that's exactly what Finday has committed himself to, hoping 10 years from now the more than 5,000 children at Rock Your Roots carry it forward to another generation.
There's so many people that are lost out there, and I just want to try and bring back that belief, something to believe in.
10 years later, Rock Your Roots has empowered thousands to connect and share stories, with organizers hoping this momentum will continue through the next decade. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead 2 weeks into quarterback play in the CFL has been impressive, something the entire league is taking notice of.
Here's what's happening in our community. Jazz Fest Regina 2026 will be happening June 18th to the 22nd, featuring international and Canadian jazz artists. For more information, visit jazzfestregina.ca. Drop Zone will be happening on August 22nd. Defy gravity, register to be a participant, and help raise funds to support Easter Seals Saskatchewan. Spots are limited. Register now at dropzoneyqr.ca. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Well, bad news for the Riders secondary. Roland Milligan Jr. has been put on the 6-game injured list with a shoulder injury. Former NFLer Juju Hughes will get the first crack at starting in his boundary halfback spot, while Jackson Ford will start at safety in Calgary with Nelson Lacombo on the 1-game injured list. Now, Saturday's showdown will feature 2 great quarterbacks in Trevor Harris and Vernon Adams Jr., but as Don from Mace tells us, that seems to be the case almost every week right now in the CFL.
Trevor Harris has now thrown for over 400 yards.
Quarterback play through the first 2 weeks of the CFL season.
A look to the end zone. Touchdown again.
has some wondering if this group of pass throwers is one of the best the league has ever seen.
Quarterbacks in the CFL are throwing the ball more often, throwing it deeper, and having more success doing it.
Steps up, deep throws, got it!
Naylor saying quarterbacks are already on an early pace to set league records for completion percentage, passes attempted and deep plays, as well as record lows for interceptions.
The metrics are all positive for the passing game early in this season.
Every team has very, very good quarterback play.
In week 2 alone, 4 quarterbacks throwing for more than 400 yards.
That is putting the dagger in someone.
And pivots across the league are noticing it as well.
You look at the quarterback play around the league now in the last couple of years. I mean, it's every game, right? There's a guy on the other team leading the charge.
That makes for a great brand of football, and that's why they're seeing such high-level football and games coming down to the last minute.
Trevor would say that.
With the high-octane offenses throughout, coaches say the league has as much parity as ever.
The quarterbacks in the league right now are all playing at a very high level. I think you look across the board, everybody's playing well.
Looking at it, I think our guy played well as well, so just a lot of good quarterback play throughout the league.
Players are getting better everywhere. A lot of movement across the league where you're seeing good players from whatever conference or division switch over.
And if this early aerial approach continues, no team wants to get left behind.
Every team in the league feels like they have a quarterback they can go out, air the ball deep, and win a game like that. And if you're not doing it, the other team is doing it.
Donovan Mee, CTV News, Regina.
Yesterday's historic World Cup win for Canada on home soil, no less, was extra sweet for Saskatchewan soccer fans. A lot of S's there that were in attendance.
Canada's played a full tournament without scoring a goal, so scoring 6 in one game is insane.
Jordan Kellerman was at the World Cup in Qatar when Canada scored their first goal in tournament history versus Croatia, and then in Vancouver for the nation's first ever World Cup win. A soccer fan and member of the famed Voyageurs, says the experience, the win, and more than likely Canada moving past the group stage has simply been surreal.
Especially kind of how they were struggling to score before, so that was pretty much just a party in the stands by the time it was 2 goals and whatnot, so it's pretty awesome.
Happy and proud of the performance we put out today to get our first win in the World Cup. I think was amazing, and also to do it in front of those supporters was amazing.
Kellerman will be at next week's game as well when Canada takes on Switzerland June 24th in Vancouver. Well, it looks like all 3 World Cup host nations will be playing in a knockout round.
It's a good surge. Oh, it's in! The USA score early again!
Yeah, the United States early marker on an own goal by the Australian Cameron Burgess. Then later, Alex Freeman would pounce on a block shot to give the United States a 2-0 lead at halftime. They went on to win by that score, securing a spot in a round of 32 and likely first in Pool D. Well, later this afternoon, we can tell you Morocco, they scored in the first 2 minutes of the game, and that's it. That's all they needed. They knocked off Scotland by a score of 1-0. Both those teams have 1 win. Scotland has 1 loss, Morocco 1 win and 1 draw. So, Brazil on the pitch right now in Philadelphia taking on Haiti in a Group C matchup. You can watch that game right now on TSN. Then Turkey and Paraguay, both coming off tough losses in Group D. They'll face each other in San Francisco. This one starts at 9 o'clock Saskatchewan time. That one is also on TSN.
Still ahead, a look at one of Saskatchewan's success stories out on the farm.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. Looking quite nice, warming up into the 20s for most of the province and more sunshine expected. As you can see, Watrous mainly sunny, 20 degrees there, a mix of sun and cloud. For Hudson Bay Wynyard, 21, 22 in a mix of sun and cloud for Melfort, 23 in a mix of sun and cloud for Outlook, 24 in a mix of sun and cloud for Kindersley, and then cloudier in Meadow Lake, Lloydminster. 19 is the expected high, Spiritwood 20 and cloudy there. Closer to the southern border, sunshine continues and temperatures a little warmer, especially in the southwest there. Leader 26 degrees, 25 for Maple Creek, 24 for Rosetown. 23 degrees for Coronach, Assiniboia, and Eastern Cypress, 22 for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, Rockland, and 21 degrees for the southeast, Kenora, Broadview, Carlisle, and all expecting to see that sunshine before the rain arrives on Sunday. Taking a closer look at Merrifield, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. 20 degrees is the expected high tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. And then heading into Sunday, you can expect to see that rain up to about 10 millimeters of rain for Sunday.
We have an update on the Waterline failure that caused a devastating flood at the Bushwhackers Brew Pub on Wednesday. The city of Regina says the break happened on the city's side of the water service connector, where an historic cast iron pipe joined with a newer PVC pipe. The water flooded into the basement of the Bushwhacker Brew Pub to a depth of about 2 feet. The city says they don't know the cause yet, but it may have been vibrations from the construction project, or that the 100-plus-year-old pipe may have had pinholes that finally gave way. This waterline break comes only months after the city finished a years-long revitalization project along Dutney Avenue.
This is our first time working on this and doing maintenance. It's much sooner than we would have liked, but it is a good opportunity for us to understand how we're going to continue to maintain this asset into the future if anything else does come up. So we're working very carefully. We've got special equipment to move those very large, heavy pavers and make sure that we can put them back really nicely.
The Brew Pub has a few days of major plumbing work ahead of them before they can begin to restore the connection to the outside water main and then finally restore the sidewalk back to normal. Well, bad news for the ag industry across Canada. More farmers are leaving the industry than entering it. This comes as production costs and risks keep rising. But despite tough economic times, one family farm near Melfort is managing to carry on the business into the third generation. Alison Bamford explains their path to success.
Bo Stevenson is checking cows in one of his pastures. He grew up farming, but got into the industry full-time 6 years ago, joining his grandfather, father, and younger brother. At that time, they were just a grain farm.
We knew we needed to diversify from the beginning to comfortably make a living.
Farmers across the country are dealing with higher costs and astronomical land prices.
As a young guy getting into this, it's not very affordable or economical buying land.
Making it hard to start out or even expand.
It's a lot of risk. It's a lot of work. It is tougher to do than it definitely was 30 years ago.
More people are leaving the industry than entering it. Farm Credit Canada estimates more than half of Canadian farmers are over the age of 55, and 40% are expected to retire by 2033.
When we lose primary producers, the risk is that our land, our farmland, ceases to be operated as a farm.
The Stevensons say diversification has been key. They have the feedlot, the grain farm, and the calving operation, which has allowed the farm to stay in the family for 3 generations.
It certainly spreads the risk out for any farming operation to be diversified, but it is hard to get into other farming industries if you're not involved today.
Experts say it's increasingly difficult for small and mid-sized farms to compete with big operations, which could lead to fewer but larger farming companies in the future. Here at the Stevenson family farm, they hope to carry on the legacy.
There's some pressure to continue it and make sure that it is successful and thrives.
A challenge they say they're up for. Alison Bamford, CTV News, near Melfort, Saskatchewan.
Some heart-stopping moments on the street price of canola as well. Why? Well, it went down $1.50 to $681.15 per ton. Futures price up $2.90 to $726 per ton. Amber durum wheat, $285.20 per ton. Red spring wheat up slightly, 9 cents to $291.43 per ton. Feed barley, $257.21 per ton, and flax, $630.54 per ton. Prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. TSX markets down 111 points. Dow Jones went up slightly by 72 points. Canadian dollar, it went up more than 0.2 cents to 70.55 cents U.S. Commodity front, gold down $54.26. West's Texas Intermediate crude up 94 cents, and Western Canadian Select crude went down by 29 cents.
Canadians spent more on filling up their vehicles, no surprise, given the higher cost of fuel as a result of the Iran conflict. In April, Canadians spent $7.5 billion to gas up, or about 5% more than they did in March. Sales of vehicles and parts were also up in April, with both new and used car dealers getting a boost. Retail sales were up the most in Ontario, followed by Alberta. Canada is putting a 10% tariff on imports of canned vegetables. The finance minister says it's meant to address the critical circumstances of the Canadian industry, which has asked for an inquiry on an increase in these imports. The U.S. is exempt from the ban, so is Mexico and developing countries. It takes effect today. Wealthsimple blames a technical error for emails that incorrectly told people they'd won a cash prize. The fintech company says the error affected a small group that entered a contest. Some were told they'd won thousands of dollars. Wealthsimple has apologized for the mistake. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
How many?
None.
Well, there's one. Spring break murders at 7, followed by crime scene investigators at 8. Boston Blue at 9. So a lot on the old telly tonight. Okay, we got some from drone video. It's coming in from California as a shark was spotted circling a surfer.
Okay, so this was taken off the coast of Santa Cruz. The shark starts off as a shadow in the distance, but the surfer captures its attention. It began to close in, circling the surfer, leading to some anxious moments, especially for the drone operator. The shark came up right behind the surfer at one point, closing within a few feet before apparently thinking the better of it and swimming away.
Maybe sensing it wasn't a seal and decided to bail on it.
I feel like, would that stop it?
Yeah, they're just interested. They just want to...
Curious.
Sharks just want to have fun. It's like the song. Have you noticed it's so hard to tell people's ages these days?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to kick this off with a little game of Spot the Teacher.
Oh, no.
Okay, one teacher is hiding in a student lineup. Look carefully.
It has to be the one covering its face.
Can you spot the teacher, Sabine?
I think it's this one in the Gap hoodie, that gray hoodie.
You're going to go with the Gap hoodie?
Yeah.
All right.
And?
Let's find out the winner. You're very good. Miss Vernell snuck in looking like one of her students. Has already tricked a bunch of people. Over 8 million people have watched the video to try to guess it, but you were like, it's the Gap.
Yeah.
No one's wearing it.
Young kids don't wear Gap anymore.
No.
That was a big thing when we were kids.
Yeah, you knew right away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my earpiece, I can't hear how much time we have, so...
we're almost done. So on that note, have a great weekend.
Bye-bye. I said...